Yeah, todos están pendientes a ti, pero tú puesta para mí, haciendo que me
Oh yeah, welcome back to another episode of the Turnaround Sports Podcast. Today's a special one, and why don't you tell them why, T-Ham?
Well, Nate is sitting right across the bar table
Yes,
here
sir.
from me, and we got a little IRL action going on here.
We got our first ever live podcast.
Indeed, laddie.
All right, so we're going to start it off the same as always with the Bleacher Report game. Picking our first story from Bleacher Report, discussing it a little bit. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm always ready. I was
All
born
right.
ready.
So, latest breaking story on Bleacher Report comes from the football world. Joe Flacco is doubtful to play this Sunday. Lamar Jackson or RG3 is expected to play. That is some big news, and is Lamar Jackson ready to take that step?
I think so. I don't know. I mean, he's played. He's had a couple he's played a couple snaps each game, and mostly they were just like him on quarterback runs and stuff. But
Whoa!
on quarterback.
You don't have these problems, and you don't have phones dropping, flying
on
everywhere. in your life.
on quarterback runs and stuff, but I don't know. I think it'll be good for him to get into that role. Who are they playing? Are they playing
Cincy.
They're playing
At home,
Cincy.
though. At home, that's big.
God, Cincy just got blown out by New Orleans, but I mean, I think New Orleans is the best team in the NFL right now. So, I mean, and I called that last week that they get blown out, but I think it'll be a good game. I think Lamar's gonna really step into the role. I think he's gonna shock a lot of people. Honestly, I think he'll be. I don't think he's gonna be as bad as some people might think. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know.
You think so?
It's weird because usually you would. I don't know. We haven't seen anything from him as a passer.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird because when he was going through the whole draft process, he would always and how teams wanted to work him out as a wide receiver, and he was always saying, "I'm a quarterback." But really, the only way Baltimore's used him this year is either like a wide receiver or trick plays or
running
put
back.
him out or wildcat or something.
Wildcat.
They really haven't used him as a passer really. So I think it'll be interesting. And even in the report, it says Lamar Jackson and RG3 or RG3 are expected to play. So that makes me think that they're still going to use. They might not use his arm as much. To me, that says 10 to 12 throws.
That's true.
And it depends. Like Cincinnati got blown out to the Saints, which yes, they're the best team, but at home. So what are they going to do on the road now against a guy they have zero film on?
That's true.
In a
Exactly,
perfect-
and that's another thing. I don't know. I have a lot more belief in Lamar Jackson. I think a lot of, I guess, the average person does. I think he's a quarterback. I think he is an NFL caliber quarterback. I just think he needs the reps. So I wouldn't expect him to go out and. I wouldn't expect him to go out and dominate or anything, and I think it's gonna be a very slow game. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout either way, and I think it's just gonna be a lot of running and a really boring game to watch. But we'll see what happens. I don't know. It depends on how he passes the ball. I mean, he's been getting. I'm curious to wonder how many reps he gets in practice throwing the ball. I know he's second team, but I don't know. And I wonder if he's in a lot of the first team plays.
They had a bye last week, and so he gets that's another thing. He gets a whole extra week.
But has
of
Flacco been
preparation.
hurt that whole week too?
Yeah, he's been out. He's been out that whole time. So
I don't
know
even
if
with
he's
that
been
too.
practicing.
Then I think he'll be fine. I think he's gonna surprise a lot of people.
And the Bengals defense gave up 55 last week. So
Yeah, they got a good defense though. I think New Orleans is really just that good.
yeah. All right, moving on from the Bleacher Report game. That was a good one. We're gonna get into some general NBA talk, and we got our good one with our guest Hamza tonight. So let's bring him on. Hamza, you're doing good. You're on the podcast again. Welcome back.
Thank you.
That was like the fifth time happened. I don't know, fifth timer probably. I don't know.
All right. As always, you're on to talk about some NBA. We got a couple pretty good stories this week. Obviously, starting it off with Melo. Where do you think teams stand with Melo right now, and what do you think Melo's best option is to take?
Going forward.
As many of you know, Melo was cut by the Rockets. Was it yesterday or earlier
2 days
today?
ago, I think, it was yesterday.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think is his next career move, and what do you think teams stand with him right now? Because, I mean, there's not really any hype. I heard, like, the Sixers might be interested, but I think that was before the Butler trade, so what do you think?
What I think is, so, like, one huge knock on, like, Melo's career is going to be, like, yeah, he has no rings, and, you know, he's not the player he once was, so I think if he still wants to get that ring, he would have to go somewhere like Golden State because they're heavy favorites. And Golden State they don't need him, they don't want him, all of that. I think like another team is, well, I mean, he tried Houston, it didn't work. And then even in the East, it doesn't seem like any teams will want him because he's just not that adaptable for today's league. Like 3-and-D is valued so much, and he's not shooting well from 3, and he hasn't played defense for years. So if I'm Melo, I think retirement honestly might be the best option because you don't want to be known as like, even if he doesn't have a ring, he's known as one of the like most deadliest scorers, you know, to ever play, especially in this prime. So you don't want to like, you know, just be bouncing team to team. Not getting not getting your minutes. You're always known as a starter and a scorer, and now you could barely even get lift on your jump shot.
I don't know. People think of that as being crazy, but I mean, when you look at that draft class, you have Chris Bosh, who unfortunately, like that's because of health reasons, he's retired, and he'll probably never play again. Dwayne Wade, this is his last year, so it's sad to see because of how sudden the drop off was. Because last year when he signed for OKC, like we were looking at that being a big 3, and now he can't even find a team. But it's not like he's 35. It's not uncommon for him to retire right now, and I don't know. What does he really provide for teams right now? Contenders, anyway.
It is weird because of like how fast it happened. Because even just like when he was in New York, you know, 2 years ago, you know, he was still like putting up like 25 points per game.
Yeah.
You know, and like what you said in OKC, that was a big 3. Like people looked at it as a big 3, but yeah, it's just a drop off.
Yeah. Do you think he's a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, for sure. I think he is a Hall of Famer because even like he had some good runs with the Nuggets. You know, we had good 51 seasons, and then even with the Knicks, like honestly, if it wasn't for teams like Miami, who knows how far they would have gotten. But even still, like those New York teams were good. He's always been one of the best scorers in the league. Like when it comes to like, you know, scoring on
just scoring by and like creating your own shots, like they're like. In terms of Nuggets history, I don't know if there's been anyone better, like creating their own shot.
Yeah.
I don't know, or that I've watched anyway.
Next level, especially like for that time, because you know now they don't shoot mid ranges, but him on like the elbow back in the day, like you know he would just shoot mid ranges in anyone's face, kind of how like KD does right now.
Yeah.
To me, I like to see it as like for me, it's easy to compare to like the NFL because that's what I'm most like familiar with, but I see him as like kind of a Drew Brees kind of guy where you know he's deadly and you know he's like one of the best players, like he should be in the Hall of Fame, but he was in the era of like the LeBron era where every single year LeBron's going, you're either playing LeBron or you're playing, you know, some other
Kobe.
Yeah, like exactly, but you're in that era, and the same with like Drew Brees, like every year he had to play, you know, Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs, or you know, if you go to Manning, if you get to the Super Bowl, you had to play Brady or Manning or Big Ben. Yeah. Those guys are all like first ballot Hall of Famers for sure. I mean, you could even look at like Phillip Rivers. I mean, I'm not sure if Phillip Rivers is necessarily a Hall of Famer. He might be a better comparison though. But I think I think he's in the debate for Hall of Famer for the things that he's done and the kind of numbers he's put up. I think I think I'd put him in there just for his pure talent and his ability back when he was dominant.
I don't know. People are so quick to slay Melo, but we've had one successful, and I put successful in quotes because we reached the first round and got knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. One successful season without him, really. I mean, we haven't made the playoffs since then. And I mean, he even, I don't know, people can say what they want about him, but he won with us, so.
Yeah, I think the like Breeze comparison is a great one, but because he was having great seasons with us, but it's just that like in the West he had to play, Kobe a couple of times. He got 2 rings and while Melo was still there. Then he moves to the East and then he got to face
LeBron.
the Miami LeBron.
Yeah.
And it's
then
just
the Cleveland LeBron.
like he just played in such a verse like so much more talent like all the time. He couldn't escape it.
Yep. One last, I guess we can add 2 more questions. What are your thoughts on the Nuggets hiring Sue Bird?
Honestly, look, I don't know much about that because I don't know what they hired her.
WNBA legend. WNBA legend.
Okay. Like, when it comes, I guess maybe they're just trying to get, like, more, I guess, established people in, because they also hired Mark Price for, like, shooting advice and all that. So Mark Price is with the Nuggets, but
That was a great pickup.
to be honest, I don't know what having, a WNBA legend is going to do for
I think she's still playing too. I saw a tweet. I don't know if they, I don't know if they were wrong or not, but they're like they said, what did they say? They're like, man, Sue Bird can do it all.
Sue Bird won't be able to attend this game because she has a game of her own.
I'll say this. Anyone on the Nuggets roster, like Tyler Lydon, is a better basketball player.
Oh, everyone, come on. There's not Bismack Biyombo. Boban is. I mean, no, that's not fair because he's like way taller than everyone. But but yeah, like, God, yeah. I mean, the whole thing with Brittany Griner and DeMarcus Cousins. I can promise you, he would beat her 21-0.
0, yeah, she wouldn't score.
But yeah, and then I guess the last thing we should talk about. It's interesting because the NBA is about 16 or so. I think the 15, 16 most teams have played games, and in the East you can kind of see it taking form. We pretty much figured that Toronto, Milwaukee, Boston, and Philly would be probably the top 4 or 5 seeds, and that's how it's shaping up. But the West is still pretty murky. I mean, you got teams. Obviously, Golden State, everyone knew they'd be 1. But then the next 4, you have Denver, Portland, Memphis, and the Clippers. And other than Denver, I don't think anyone would have included, maybe Portland at like 6 or 7, but I don't think Memphis and LA, the Clippers, I don't think many people would have them making the playoffs, let alone be a top 5 seed. And obviously, it's still really early in the season, but they've been showing out, especially Memphis. They've impressed me.
Yeah, Memphis is like the big one because, last year they were garbage.
Oh, awful.
They lost 20 games in a row. They had no chance at any point in the season to, like, even.
I mean, they battled injuries, but even, like, people, you were sitting there and, like, is Mike Conley really going to turn this team around?
Yeah.
But
I mean, they're beating SMU right now, so I mean that'll be a good win if they win. But I
we're talking about the Grizzlies, not college football.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about the Memphis Tigers.
Yeah, the West is gonna be really close, just like last year. Because I remember last.
I think the Lakers are starting to gel too. I think they can easily still get a 4 or 5 seed.
Yeah, especially. I don't know, their pickup for Tyson Chandler, I think, was a great move because when JaVale McGee, he can't play that many minutes. They said this is his career high in minutes.
Yeah, that's crazy. And
he
is like, people don't realize he's been in the league for like, I think 12 years now. I think he got drafted in like 06, 08, something like that. Like, this is like, I think he's like 33 or 34, something like that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, when he's gone, then like the next one up for center is like Zubac, and he can't do anything.
Yeah, but yeah, in terms of like the Memphis, you wouldn't think they'd be able to keep this up. I think they're one injury away, and you know it's going to happen. The Nuggets have been bad lately, but we've been missing one of our starters this whole time. So I think if we can get Barton back, we still own the second seed, but I think those teams without a star, like the Clippers and Grizzlies, it's just tough because you don't see, once they get into that grind time, it's hard to see someone like really stepping up for them. But
yeah, where you really see teams like what they're actually about is around like mid-season, because one of the Nuggets issues last year was like we didn't know what we were doing mid-season because we had lost Paul Millsap. We didn't know how much we should run through Jokic, and then that's why we start losing games and Portland starts winning games because they have an identity. They know,
exactly.
Okay, we're gonna run through CJ.
Which is why I think the Lakers will start climbing up.
Yeah, they need to find identity.
But yeah.
Let me ask you, what do you make of this whole Draymond Green Golden State situation?
I said it before the year started. I think this is their last year, because I said I didn't think KD would leave. I thought it'd be between Draymond and Clay, and it still might. Like if I still think it's a very likely possibility that one of those two can still leave, but now KD too. Because if you're KD, you would be dumb to not take money, right? Like, you're at this point in your career, you're still an MVP caliber player, and say they win a ring or don't win a ring, he has two, right? So he has two, and it's like, what are you gaining from this? Like, go chase the money, because there's no way they can't re-sign. They've already said they're not going to re-sign Boogie. Like, that's not a problem. Whatever. Everyone knew he'd only be there for a year. But there's no way they can pay, because someone's going to want it. Some stupid team is going to want to pay Draymond a lot of money. There's no way they can keep him. Steph's already signed to a huge deal. There's no way, and then I don't think there's any way they can sign both Clay and KD to max contracts if they both wanted to chase money.
At the beginning of the year, I just thought that someone's gonna take a pay cut, they're gonna stay together, keep running stuff, but it seems like what you're saying is kind of unfolding more and more as like the season goes by, because like it was Iggy who said that like after that locker room like confrontation between Draymond and KD, he said there's no way KD comes back.
And if that's the case, then I think they would bring back both Draymond and Clay, and then they could still have money to sign a good either six-man or who's another good solid starter. Yeah, they'd have a little money freed up, but that's true about the KD, because it's like, if you say you do get say he wins this third ring and then he could go for a fourth one. What's the gain in it? Yeah.
If you're not getting you already got 3 rings, which not too many people consider like, oh yeah, he really worked for it and all that. He's still a great player, and like I really think that if he had like a little bit less help, he still has a good chance of winning. But when you have like 3 rings at that point and you're not getting paid,
yeah, no, what's scary though is if they let KD, Draymond go, re-sign Clay, I still think they'd have enough money to get AD. And that is insane, because AD is a more dominant player than KD right now.
Yeah. And
he fills the position of center, which Draymond kind of somewhat plays in their system, but that's a better team than right now, I think. And I still think you still find someone to fill KD's slot on the roster that as long as they have 3 All-Stars on the team, someone will be like Boogie and take a pay cut to take a 1-year deal and try to get a ring. Yeah. Well,
Anthony Davis is like crazy right now. Yeah. He's also one of the best defenders.
Yeah. There's no way. This is his last year on the Pelicans. Well, it was nice having you on, and we're hoping to do a show on Wednesday, so hopefully we'll have a juicy debate for you guys, and we'll bring Peabody on for that. Have a good one then.
All right, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. See ya.
Bye.
Always good having Hums on.
Always.
All right, we're moving on. We're on the topic of KD. Let's talk about that a little bit. There's rumors surfacing lately about him going to the Lakers. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I think on paper it looks really good because I think if you put LeBron and KD on the team and ignoring any sort of like political issues, I guess, for lack of better words, they're 1-2. I mean, maybe you were saying AD, but probably 1 and 2 and the most dominant players in the league right now. And if you put them together and say they are able to form some sort of chemistry and work together, which that's the only thing that's stopping it to me and making it a no-go. But if they could, then I think it'd be very hard for anybody to stop that, especially if you can get support from some of those other just support from players around them. But having them as the battery and of that team would be insane. But I just don't think that they're going to be able to, because it's going to be hard, because KD's not going to want to let LeBron take final shots, and LeBron's not going to want to let KD take final shots, and even just like late game play, not even like final shots. Like LeBron, late game is like taking up the ball every single possession, and he's like, his teammates are looking to get the ball in his hands, and LeBron would not want to sacrifice that to KD, I don't think, and KD wouldn't want to sacrifice that to LeBron. So I just don't think politically and chemistry-wise, I don't think that would work out.
I don't know. You see it in like soccer all the time, and now basketball with all these super teams forming. But people are just so quick whenever any type of free agency or any type of transfer pops up. Everyone's so quick. Oh, Man United. Oh, Man City, like best teams. Oh, Lakers. Golden State, like everyone's so quick to say that. I don't know. There's no way that would work. You're talking about, there's one thing when you have Wade and LeBron or Steph and Clay. Like those are two all-stars, but they don't both need the ball in their hands like every possession.
Steph will
of the
give
game.
up a final shot.
He will, and I don't know. They each have their role. Like Clay's a very good player, but he has his role. He's a very good scorer, and yeah, he can score off the dribble, but he's mostly a spot-up three-point shooter. Not that he's only limited to that, but like when Steph is on the court, especially, he turns into that. And I think Clay is one of the best players in the league at accepting his role. But I don't know. There's no way. Like you're talking about, like in terms of gifted, like NBA talent right now, like the best and second best player in the league. Yeah. KD would have another MVP if he wasn't on Golden State, I think. And they're both the same position basically. They're both small forwards naturally. And there's no way that would work. Obviously, LeBron can play almost any position, but that would not work.
Yep, I agree.
So right now on the BS meter, I got it at about a 9 out of 10.
I think the Lakers would be better spending their money elsewhere, maybe on like a big center or something like that. Because I think
I don't know though. Like JaVale and Tyson Chandler.
That's true.
Working out well for them. So I think
JaVale's funny because like everybody gives him shit for like because he used to be real like terrible like with the Nuggets.
He's never been terrible.
Yeah,
his basketball IQ is
just like there's just moments where
awful,
he is just like JaVale. Like what are you doing? You are in the NBA.
He's always been gifted. He just doesn't have that.
But I don't know. I think putting a player like LeBron on his team and having LeBron be able to like kind of control him and know when to give him the ball.
You do not want to mess up with LeBron. You're not going to do stupid stuff like that.
JaVale knows like he's got to be like he's on his top game. His focus, exactly. So I think like that combination, like I think like JaVale's a really good center if you put him on a team like that, and I think that's why he was pretty. I mean, he wouldn't start over Draymond or anything, but like he was a really good center coming off the bench for Golden State.
I think centers nowadays too, you can always just find someone.
But I don't know. I think the Lakers could definitely spend their money elsewhere. I mean, they'd have to max pay KD too, and having max paid, paying LeBron a bunch. So I still don't think that would work.
Yeah, we'll have a lot more NBA talk on Wednesday. We got a really good debate coming up then, so make sure you tune in then. But
if you've been following on Twitter, you might know what it's about.
Yeah, follow us, the TNS Sports Podcast, or just look up the Turnaround Sports Podcast.
Yep,
on Twitter. All right, so enough of NBA for now. We're gonna get on to some college football. We got a bunch of good college games coming up tomorrow. But what we're talking about today is college football divisions, and there's a couple this year. The ACC and the Big Ten in particular are really costing teams because basically what happens is, obviously in the championship games for both those divisions, they're split. The ACC and Big Ten are split into two divisions, and for the ACC, the top 4 teams are all in the same division, and for the Big Ten, the top 3 teams are all in the same division. So it's not the best team versus the second best team. Which is kind of unfair because in college football in the playoffs the committee holds this huge standard that if you win a conference championship game you deserve to get in over these teams that didn't. But really, if you're the third ranked team and you don't get to play in a conference championship game, it's not really fair to them. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I think I'd agree with how I think it's poorly structured. It makes sense because then you can have like more structured schedules and stuff like that.
But you can do that without. You can keep it in one division and have your same schedule. Like you can have these fake divisions for scheduling.
That's
not
true.
Fake, but like.
That's true. Okay, so yeah, so you keep the divisions, but I guess a better way to go about that, instead of scrapping a division, having one huge division, I guess, it'd be better to just have the 2 division, have all the scheduling, whatever, that way it's organized, whatever. But once you get to the playoffs, you just need to rank, you just need to seed the teams based on their record, and you just need to go out of that whole conference. You just need to pick out the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many, is it 8 seeds, 6 seeds? So, I don't know.
12 or Big 12
is
12, Big 10's 10.
Oh yeah, that's right. Everybody plays. I don't know why I thought.
Oh, yeah, Big 10 might actually be 12 too.
I think it actually is. But anyways, but then you could just seed out the teams based on record head to head, however they want to. I mean, if that can be up to each conference
14.
what the tiebreakers are and stuff, but I think that I just think that's a more fair way to go about it, because you're right, because you could go into a college playoffs and in the second round, which at that point is, I mean, I don't know, but you could have like a 5 and a 4 seed realist, like 2 teams that are, especially in a conference like the Big Ten like that. I mean, you could have 2 ranked teams playing each other in like the semifinals, right, or the quarterfinals. Could you not? What do you mean?
There's no quarterfinals. There's 4 teams that make the college football.
No, I'm not saying about the college football playing. I'm talking about the conference championships.
There's 1 game. It's 1 versus 1. It's the number 1 versus the number 1.
Oh, that's right. You're right. I don't know why I was thinking there's a playoffs. Did they do that? I was thinking about basketball. Yeah, basketball they have their tournament.
That's a different story.
Oh, but okay.
But
so then in that case,
then
yeah, they should just take the 1 and 2 seed from the whole conference, regardless of where, of who's.
Because that would help. Or another solution is just expand the college football playoffs.
I think that's the best way to do it, honestly.
I saw a tweet today.
Both.
And
do both.
Yeah, but I'm saying, you could do both, but if you expanded one, then
you could
the other
do both,
would be a
and then
problem.
you could have 4. So if you expand it to 8, then you could pick 4 of the best football divisions, which are probably Big 12, Big 10, ACC, and the
Pac-12.
No, because we got to have the SEC in there.
I know this year it's probably maybe ACC. But it's definitely SEC, Big 12, Big 10, and then pick between the Pac-12.
But you could take those 4, and then if you win, then you can get into the playoffs if you're from one of those big conferences, and then you could take the top 4 based on whoever the analysts want or whatever the selection committee wants to take. They could take those 4, and they can disregard.
I kind of like that idea. The only thing but then again though, like let's look at the Big 12 right here. Right now, the Big 12 championship game is going to be Oklahoma versus West Virginia. That's a bad example. Because they're both 8-1. So realistically, with an 8-team playoff, that would work.
Oklahoma,
but
Texas.
say like Oklahoma was playing Texas this year. I think Texas is ranked like 16th right now. If they won that game, you can't put them in the college football playoffs.
That's true.
But I saw a tweet today and it had 1 through 16 and it had them ranked like in a bracket. It looked beautiful. I think 16 is too much, but I think 8 is perfect because every year there's always 2 teams. Like 5 and 6 are always murky. Like there's always 2 teams that get snubbed. But last year was UCF. I think TCU one year I remember. But so I think 8 teams or have 6 and have the first 1 and 2 get like the last few years Alabama and Clemson.
That's true. You could have buys. It doesn't
guaranteed. But I think 8's perfect. You have 1 play 8.
Or you could, I mean, in that case, you could have 10 and then still have those buys.
Or that too, yeah.
So I think that would even be like the perfect.
Or it just depends on like conference championships, just whatever. But I think regardless, I think the college football playoff should be at least expanded to 8, and I think every division needs to have some better system of rank. You can have divisions, but if you're gonna have divisions and at the end of the day, everyone wants to see Clemson play Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
No one.
exactly.
People want that Clemson-Syracuse game was so good. It came down to the last second. Everyone wants to see the two best. Like, say, even the SEC lately has been getting kind of lucky. But who would want to see? Who wants to see like Alabama play? Say Alabama, Georgia, and like Florida and LSU. We're all in the same division, which is what's happening in the ACC and the Big Ten.
Who wants to
see Alabama play South Carolina?
Yeah,
no one
exactly.
wants to see that, and that's what's happening in the ACC and the Big Ten.
I think that's a big. I think it will. I think they have to expand the playoffs at some point because eventually you're like. I think 1 year. And it's only been, this is like the 5th year it's been going on, the college football playoffs?
In terms of revenue, why wouldn't you?
That too.
Who wants to watch the Alamo
that's,
Bowl?
I mean, that's
like,
besides the point. But yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like, no one really cares about the Rose Bowl.
But it's great because you can keep the Alamo Bowl, and then you can have teams that don't usually make bowl games like that. You can get them to fill those spots.
That's true.
And like that's huge for schools. Like making bowl games for small schools is like huge.
Yeah.
CSU is like, we have a banner in our IPF that says, "Oh, we've been to 23 bowl games" or something like that. Like, which is not a big deal for like Alabama and that, but like for CSU, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
But I just think it's a no-brainer. I think that the college football playoffs would be so much more appealing and more fun to watch if you had more teams, because it's upsets are. I think upsets are what drive college sports. Period.
Yeah.
I think upsets are what drive
sure.
like Alabama wins every year. That is what it is. But like if you look in like the NCAA, like in March Madness, people are looking for the big upset. Like how often?
And with 4 teams, people just
it's too competitive.
No one looks forward. I mean, in previous years maybe, but now people are already looking forward to Clemson and Alabama again.
Exactly.
No one, especially Alabama. People are already looking forward to who's Alabama playing in the championship.
Yeah.
Whereas when you add those games, you have so many more matchups to look at, so many more possibilities.
And it's fun to watch, but like, and you
this?
have games to look forward to watching instead of like, oh, you get to see Alabama play Ohio State or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you know that Alabama's going to go in and win that game.
If Alabama doesn't play Clemson
and honestly, at this
year,
point,
I'd be
with the
surprised.
college football playoffs, like the Rose Bowl used to be like the big, that used to be the big game. Now it's like, oh, the Rose Bowl's on.
Well, they switch it. Like sometimes, like the Rose Bowl was the when Oregon and FSU played with Winston. That was like the game to get into the national championship. But they switch it every year. But if it's not in that mix for those 2 games, then it's just some bowl game.
It's a bowl game. Like it's people just turn it on because it's a bowl game, but nobody cares about it.
If their team's not in it, yeah.
I mean, the Rose Bowl, bowls like big bowl games like Sugar Bowl, Rose Bowl, Orange Bowl, stuff like that. They're always gonna be big because they're always gonna feature top 20 teams, most likely.
Top 10 usually. It's like
it'll be 7, but
top 15.
Top 15, sure, whatever. And those are still going to be good games and much anticipated games, but how much more fun would it be if that 7th ranked team was in the college football playoffs instead of playing in a bowl game?
And they had something to actually play for other than just...
I think the biggest thing is just... I think the biggest thing might be just scheduling for them, and you don't... That might be a part of it, too. I didn't even think about this, but, like, having college football players have to play through 3 or 4 rounds of playoffs. I don't know. Maybe
but here's another thing.
Because you don't want them getting injured.
Scheduling, that's a really good point, because... Alabama is playing Citadel this week. They do this every year. They schedule on purpose. Their first game they play is usually against like the number 6 ranked team or a really good team, a Wisconsin, a Florida State.
Yeah.
It's always against a really good team. So that way, if they were to lose that game, they get that loss out of the way quick, because the committee seems to forget about early in the season.
Oh yeah.
So now if you expand that to 8, you're probably gonna get at least one, probably maybe two lost teams in there. So that creates better matchups during the season, huge, and that creates more revenue for NCAA.
It's some 2-loss teams are better than 1-loss teams.
Yeah. Oh, easily.
So
they just schedule harder, especially if you're in the SEC.
Exactly. So I mean, like examples like Michigan and Notre Dame, like they play I'm not sure if they play more top 25 teams than Alabama. Probably not because Alabama. But like,
Depends on the year,
I
but
feel
yeah.
like those Big Ten teams. Or
Oh,
those,
Michigan seems like. Let's look at Michigan.
I feel like they play a top 25 ranked team every other week or so.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And to me, I also just want to see a bigger playoffs because I think that would just be a lot more fun. But I think that is part of it because like the NFL, like you wouldn't think the NFL would expand their playoffs because they don't want to put those players. Football is one of those weird sports where like it's so brutal on the body that it's hard to force. You know what I mean? You can't have like long playoffs.
Yeah, but college football only plays 12 games anyway.
But it's just I just really think it's dumb how there's 3 games in the college playoffs. 3 games.
yeah, no, I did too.
And really, that's one
Well,
game.
think about it. It used to be
Really,
one.
really, yeah. I mean, it did, but I don't know. Really, that's one game, but it still is. But I don't know. I think it's an interesting topic. I hope they change it in the future. I think they will. And what I was gonna say earlier, I don't know if I did say this, but one of these years there's gonna be a huge snub at 5.
There has
Like a
been
huge.
usually,
I mean, there is already, but I'm saying there's gonna be like a
like
one
somebody,
that is just like, how did they not? Like they had like there's gonna be top 5
like,
teams
even this
that
year,
are all equal and
Well,
dominant.
this year you're gonna be looking at because like right now, you got
and that's the problem with
right
the
now
college-
you have Alabama, who's 2, Alabama, Clemson, Notre
and then I
Dame,
think Notre Dame,
Michigan, and
Ohio
Georgia.
State's up
Georgia,
there.
Ohio State's like 10 or 8, but yeah, they have one loss, and then you have West Virginia, and Oklahoma. But anyway, so you have the top 5: Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, Michigan, and Georgia. Let's just say Alabama wins. Alabama wins the SEC championship. They win out. They're obviously 1. Same with Clemson. They win out. They're obviously 2. Notre Dame, they don't. They're independent, so they win out. They're obviously 3. But then say Michigan wins the Big Ten and Oklahoma or West Virginia, they're gonna go 11-1. One of them,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
win the Big 12
Exactly.
championship. You're looking at a team that lost 1 game this year, won their conference championship, and they still don't get in. Like, what more do
which
you
is
want?
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Which is like that's where it's just way too competitive. Like it's too hard. There shouldn't be 4 teams because especially in college sports, like we know this, like the 10 could beat the 3 any day of the week.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
easily.
saying the 3
Well, Notre
because
Dame-
like I don't think anybody outside of the top 5 is going to beat Alabama, who's number 1, and I don't think they'd beat Clemson either, but like Notre Dame could lose to anybody.
Well,
Like,
I think this year you could see the biggest snub that we've seen so far in college playoffs. This scenario is it's not likely, but all right. So Alabama loses to Georgia in the SEC championship. You don't leave Alabama.
You can't
out.
leave Alabama out.
You can't leave Georgia out. They just beat Alabama in the SEC championship.
Yeah.
So those 2 are locks. And if Clemson and Notre Dame went out, they're undefeated. So
They're
you can't
locked
leave
too,
them
but
out.
then you have
What
to
if Michigan State wins the
you have to
big
snub- yeah.
Michigan? And what if Michigan wins the Big Ten title? They have 1 loss. It was their first game of the season at Notre Dame by a touchdown. And you're going to leave them out because they lost to an undefeated team on the road the first game of the year.
Exactly.
And they won their conference. Like, oh my god, it's not likely. But if Georgia were to somehow beat Alabama,
That'd be insane.
you're leaving out
that's-
one of the best teams in college football, Michigan.
Yeah.
But you have to, like, you have no choice. But
I don't know. It makes
if that were to happen, that would be one of the biggest snubs in sports history
ever. Are you kidding me? That's like
I mean, we talk snubs. There's not only snubs.
okay, but like
snubs
no,
are
but
only
if
in
you look
college
at it,
football, really.
No, but was it the Rams? Like
and
Rams like
awards.
5 years ago or something got snubbed, quote unquote snubbed out of the playoffs. I think they had 12 wins. And it was because the Niners had like 14
yeah.
and the Seahawks had 13 and they lost a wild card to like New Orleans or Atlanta or something who had 12
Well,
wins.
yeah, that's different though. That's like
12 wins,
That's not like a
12 wins in the
selection
NFL and
yeah.
not making
yeah.
the playoffs like that. I mean, that's more. I mean, the NFL playoffs are statistically driven, and like there's tiebreakers and stuff. But I don't know.
Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion. But man, college football needs divisions.
But that would be. I mean, there's not a lot of snubs in sports, but that would definitely be the biggest.
yeah. All right,
And then they'd go to the Rose Bowl and probably kick the shit out
exactly.
of like whoever,
UCF.
Who would they be playing? Yeah, somebody like that. So LSU or Oklahoma.
Whatever, yeah. Anyway, I'm excited for this one. We're introducing a new game tonight.
Oh yeah.
We got the Phone a Fan game. Basically, how it works is we got 8 names that we've decided
Randomly. Well, not randomly. We picked them.
We discussed it.
You guys don't know though.
You don't discuss them, and you guys don't know them yet. But we have a wheel here, and we're gonna spin the wheel, and whatever it lands on, we're not gonna tell them they're on the podcast. We're just gonna call them up and ask them what they want to talk about on the podcast, and they're not gonna have no idea what we're talking about.
I thought we were gonna have a topic ready for them.
Or we could, depending on the person. We'll see.
We could have I think we could have Le'Veon for anybody who might like football or like. We could talk about KD to Lakers. We could ask them their opinion.
Yeah.
Or we could ask them their opinion on the football playoffs. How about that?
All
That'd
right,
be a good one. We can.
Well, let's give her a spin.
That's if they don't have a topic.
Let's see who we get here. We got a Kenna. Okay, Kenna, get ready to be on the podcast. And if he doesn't answer, we'll try. We'll try like one or two other people, but yeah. So let's give Kenna a call here. Ken is not the biggest sports person, so if he answers, not really sure what to talk about here. We'll give him one more ring.
Hello, you've reached Kenna Oath.
All right, we got a no answer, so Ken is not available. We'll give a wheel a couple more spins, see what we get. Troy. Troy's a good one.
That was a great one.
I can't promise you guys he'll answer.
Might be at the club.
Might be at the club. I promise you guys, this will be a good one, though. If you have any suggestions of anyone we should put on the list. Troy!
Yeah.
You're on the podcast. Welcome.
Hey, who is this?
It's Nate.
Who?
Troy!
What?
You're on the podcast. We got a topic. You want to discuss it?
Nate, what the hell are you calling me for?
It's our new segment. It's called Phone a Fan.
What?
You don't listen to our podcast?
Fuck no, I don't listen to your podcast.
Hey.
Nate, what podcast is it?
The Turnaround Sports Podcast. I'll follow you on Twitter after this, but we're live right now, so you want to talk about your...
Who are you doing a podcast with?
Don't worry about it, Troy. All right.
You don't have anything better to do with your time.
All right, Troy. So we're going to talk about your Steelers for a little bit.
What is wrong?
Troy, this is our first time running this segment, and you're not making it very good.
What's wrong with my Steelers, Nate?
We're going to talk about what are your opinions on Le'Veon?
I think Le'Veon's doing what he has to do to get paid, and I respect it.
But is he going to get paid more than he would? He lost, what, 12.4 million, 15.4, something like that? There's no way he makes that back plus gets a bigger contract.
You don't think the Jets can pay him that?
I mean, all right, so he has, 6 years left? So that means he'd have to get $14.4 million for the next 6 years to make that money back. And was that really worth? Can you imagine you just left $12.4 million on the streets?
No, I wouldn't do that. I'm not stupid. But the Jets are so bad that they're willing to do that. Nate, why are you calling me?
Troy, come on. We're having a good little talk.
We are.
So stop asking stupid questions.
Okay, my bad.
How's Phoenix? You want to talk about your Coyotes? How many Coyotes games have you been to? The Phoenix Coyotes? Dude, you love hockey.
No, I don't.
Oh my gosh. Do you know how to skate?
No, I don't know how to skate.
Of course.
Ice skate? I don't know how to ice skate. I know how to skate.
Oh, you're a skater guy. You like DC?
I'm really not. What?
Never mind. All right. So you think Le'Veon ends up with the Jets? I actually saw a report today that said from one of his teammates saying that it was inevitable that he ends up there.
With the Jets?
Yeah.
I can see that.
What about like who else were they saying? Philly. What about Philly?
Who does Philly have? They have a Garrett. Wait, they don't have. They have
Ajayi.
Philly have.
But he tore his ACL. I don't know if he's gonna come back. So.
I mean, I guess he can end up in Philly too.
Yeah. Where do you see the Steelers making it this year?
I actually think we're in the AFC Championship. Losing the AFC Championship.
To who? The Pats or Kansas City?
Yeah. Ooh, I think to the
Texans?
Pats. No, to the Pats.
The Pats. So you think the Pats? You think the Kansas City's going out in the divisional round?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think Tomlin's gonna have a job next year? Everything's fine, smooth sailing. I think this is. I've said it before the year. This is the Steelers' last year. Next year. You're losing to the Browns twice. You're lucky if you don't. You should have lost week 1, and you're lucky you beat us again.
I don't think we lose to the Browns twice next year.
You want to bet?
Sure, I'll make a bet.
Okay, $10. Remember this, guys. All right, Troy.
You're really doing a podcast right now. That's crazy.
All right, Troy. Yeah, what is this, episode 9? Oh, we'll follow you. We'll give you.
9? Why haven't I seen the first 8?
I don't know. I retweet them every week, so.
Do you really?
I do.
Oh, I gotta check it out.
This has been a good one. So, we got our guy Hums on this week. We got Wednesday. We're having an NBA talk. We're having an NBA debate with Humza and. Do you know Tyler Peabody?
Yeah, I know Tyler.
Okay, well, we're having a debate next week. Let us know.
Impressive.
Yep. So we'll follow you on Twitter. Thanks for joining the podcast. We'll have you on again, Troy. I'll tell you what. You're gonna stay on our phone a fan wheel.
Thanks, Nate. I appreciate that, man. It's been an honor.
All right. We'll see you.
All right.
Thanks for coming on. You know what?
Great.
That was
really
that
great.
was about as good.
Could not have picked a better person.
You couldn't have picked a better call for our phone a fan. You couldn't have picked. And you know,
little profanity. We apologize.
We do apologize for that.
But
Troy kind of has a mouth of. God, it's like Troy, you kiss your mother with that mouth.
Seriously. God, kiss your dog with that mouth.
I know. Come on. That was. You know what that was? That was gangster Troy. I bet he had his do-rag on. That's exactly it. Anyway, so I think we covered Le'Veon.
Everything we needed to.
And we're on to the fan favorite. Actually, you know what? That might be our fan favorite now.
It might be. It honestly might be. It might be the new fan favorite. We'll see.
Because I know people at 10:45 at night, people are going to have their phone sitting next to them, waiting for that call.
Praying that they get on the podcast.
Praying, exactly.
Praying. So
anyway, I actually forgot to before we start.
Also, if you are listening to this and do want to be, which you're probably not, like there's probably like 2 people who make it this far. 1 person.
Hey, we had 1 week where it was what? 50?
We had 28 views or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, 28 plays. Anyways, not 50. Anyways, we had.
Oh my God.
If you want to be on the Phone a Fan segment, want a chance, be on the wheel, please DM us. Email us.
We got all these.
Text us if you know us.
Yeah, text
Let us know.
DM us.
We can put you
ask
on there
us
for
questions.
sure.
We'll get you involved in the show.
Thank
Anyway,
you.
yeah, there's a little spiel. Anyway, getting into our last segment. There's Memphis to Pie, baby. Our last segment. Many people's favorites is our NFL picks. I actually forgot to pick yesterday's game.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, you for
I would
got
have
it
picked.
wrong.
I would have picked the Packers too. I would have picked the Packers too.
Let's just real quick. I just want to talk about. I think the Seahawks are a sleeper team. No, I don't know. Then I don't know. I think they're better than people think.
I think the
they're
Packers
better than
are
people
that
think.
way.
I think the Packers are bad.
You can't say they're bad because they have one of the best quarterbacks of all time, though.
I think they're bad. I don't think
Take him off that team. I don't know if they win a game. Though.
exactly they're bad.
But they have the one of the best.
Sure,
quarterbacks
but he's not
ever
getting it
played.
done. You should win that game. You should win that game.
Obviously. No.
Time and time again, he comes up and he
That's
does.
not an
he's
easy
unable to prove
game
himself.
though. That's not an easy game.
Okay, it's not an easy game. What game says what? How many? Aren't they like 4 and 5 now?
4, 5, and 1.
The Pack, yeah. What are their
It's not
5 losses?
coming up.
Are you able to
I'm
pull up
trying
their
to
schedule?
look at it.
I
Why is it not?
guarantee you, there at least 3 of those he
Oh,
should
here we
not have lost. There has
yeah.
to be a game at Lambeau. He should win. Like the Packers, realistically, they should be able to win every single game.
Look at
Lambeau.
their loss. I mean, they've lost to the Rams in LA. They
Okay,
lost to
that's
the
fine,
Patriots
whatever.
in New England. They lost to Detroit in Detroit, which
They should beat Detroit.
they should. The Redskins in Washington, and then they lost to, or they drew the Vikings, or tied. Sorry. So all their losses are
All right, they're
tough
not
games.
that bad. You're
like-
right, but I don't know.
You
dude.
look at the rest of their schedule. They
Either-
could win five. They could win
All
five.
right,
of
then
their last six
there's
games.
one of 2 arguments here though. I think either the Seahawks are a good team, or
But it's
the
still,
Packers are not. What
The
people
Seahawks
think
are
they
5-5. They could easily finish. They play the Panthers. They still got to play.
Who they have to
I don't
play?
know. They can make the playoffs too, though.
Yeah, exactly. They can make a wild card for sure.
Because they still have to play the 49ers twice, the Cardinals.
That's 2 wins.
They
That's
had
a
the
win.
Vikings at home, which
They could beat
is,
the
they
Vikings.
can.
Vikings are overrated.
Panthers on the road. and
They
then
could beat the
Chiefs.
Panthers.
They could. But I don't know. Look at their wins. The Packers at home.
That's their
Probably-
one win. That's
they're
their one
probably
win.
the-
You're
oh,
right,
They,
you're
they
right,
beat
though.
the Chargers at home. That's a good win. But then
Who
I
do they
don't know.
play? So they'll win. Do
Oh, no,
play
they
the
didn't play. They didn't beat.
They play the
sorry,
Rams
sorry,
at
sorry.
home, or they already played
No,
the
they
Rams
already
home.
played the Rams. Their 5 wins are the Packers at home, which is probably their
No, don't
toughest
they
win.
play? Oh, then they don't play
They
the
already
Rams.
played the
They
Rams.
play the Vikings Vikings and Chiefs at home.
Yeah,
They could steal both of those.
yeah.
Like honest to God.
I
I think Russell Wilson steps up to the occasion and
I
can
feel like we've-
outdeal any quarterback. Like he's right up there with in games. He competes. I don't know what
step
it
up
is.
your fantasy points for me, but no, their
But
wins.
he wins games.
I know.
That's exactly what I'm saying, though. He had like what? Didn't he have like 12 or no? He had like
What?
18 points, right?
17
Yeah,
points.
which isn't a
yeah.
huge game, but like
No.
they beat the Packers.
It doesn't turn the ball over.
They're
He's
they're
not-
figuring out an identity.
Yeah.
They're able to run the ball again. Their defense
which is
better
crazy.
than people think it is.
It's crazy because everyone thought that this. Is
Everybody
the year
thought they were going to
crumbled.
suck, but
But-
they're. I mean, if
But no,
they,
still look at their wins though. Even if they made a playoff,
I think
don't
this final.
see-
I mean, obviously the final stretch is going to prove it. Is going to show what kind of team they are. But like, they have a chance to prove themselves. They have. A
I
chance
don't
to
know.
prove
Their
themselves.
wins.
And
look
if
at-
they make it to the playoffs and find it, I mean, they won't get a home game, I guess, if they have a wild card. But
you can't. I don't know though.
They
I
will
know
go
it's.
far in the
I know it's
playoffs.
week 11 or whatever. 10. No, week 11. But you still can't say you're
How's the-
that impressed. Look at their schedule. They beat the Cowboys at home, which the Cowboys just won their first game on the road last week. The Cardinals, awful. Raiders, awful. Lions, awful.
Yeah.
Packers at home, not too tough of a game.
no,
So like they still, I'm interested to see that they haven't beat a good team yet.
You're
They
right.
lost to the Rams, lost to the Chargers, lost to the Rams again, lost to the Bears, so lost to the Broncos on the road. They're a team too. Have they won a game on the road yet? Oh yeah, they beat Detroit and the Raiders on the road.
yeah, I mean,
And
those home
Cardinals,
games are
they've
going
won
to
a few,
save them. If those Chiefs and Vikings games are on
Yeah.
the road, then they'd be. I wouldn't give them a chance.
Yeah.
But I mean,
We'll see.
they're right. I think they're especially look at the teams they have to play.
No, I know.
They have a chance against Carolina, Minnesota, who hold the number 1 and 2 wild card spots. I mean,
And the Bears.
It's in their hands.
The Bears will.
It's in
hold
their
them, too.
hands.
And
They're able. I
Falcons.
mean, it's
No, it is.
it's
but
in their hands.
we'll see.
Especially, I'm beating Green
Oh,
Bay.
that's Green
They
Bay.
just.
But
I mean, their future's in their hands.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a little off topic. Not off topic there, but we went a little
carried
long
that
on
on.
that.
But that's all right. All right. So yeah, let's get into the picks. First game we got Cowboys at Falcons. This is actually a huge game. Not a great game, but for both these teams, this game
playoff.
to put you at 5-5 or to put you at
As that one
4-6.
Broncos analyst said, if they lose this game, then there is no shot they're making the playoffs. They are dead in the dumpster. So, but I mean,
it's not. I
for
wouldn't go
those
that
teams-
far because you can still make the playoffs at 9-7, like theoretically. Especially the Cowboys. Especially the
Cowboys can. The
because
Cowboys
someone
can.
can win that division.
I don't know. I think at the
9-7.
No, yeah, the Cowboys don't need to win this game. Atlanta has to.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
I don't see them getting a wild card.
Where's
if they
the
lose
wild
this
card
game.
right now? Who has it? Minnesota.
Minnesota
6-3-1, I think.
Yeah, Minnesota. Yeah, 5-3-1.
Oh, 5-3.
And then
okay.
and then Carolina has the first one at 6-3.
Yeah.
But like I dead
So you
ass
think that second spot's probably gonna be
Atlanta
like,
still has to play New Orleans.
Yeah.
Who's
So,
Atlanta?
anyway, who you got in that game?
I got the Cowboys. I think
I got the
I like the
Falcons.
Cowboys. I don't know.
I like the Falcons at home, coming off an embarrassing week against the Browns.
True.
And the Cowboys
a
still
good
haven't
point.
been. The Cowboys were better last week, but I don't know. I still don't. Their offense has been struggling. Not like the
We'll find
Falcons'
out.
defense is very good, but anyway. Bengals at Ravens. This is a very interesting one because the Bengals have been so hit or miss this year. When AJ Green's been hurt, though, they've been awful. And after last week, I don't know. They got Hugh Jackson though, so I'm gonna take them. I'm just kidding.
Is that your reasoning?
No, but see, I don't know.
But they're also playing. They're playing against Lamar Jackson.
The Ravens have a rookie quarterback. This game's so weird.
It's gonna be a good game.
What's the spread?
I still think, like I said, I think it's gonna be a really slow game. I don't see it being I don't think there's
this
gonna
could be a
more than
defense
40
heavy.
points.
This could be
I
a
don't
defense.
think
Oh, there's no. They haven't even come out with the spread yet.
Oh yeah.
So
I don't see.
I think they're
I don't know
waiting
if there's no way that there's gonna be 40 points scored in this game. I highly doubt that. I got the Ravens. I think they're gonna win at home, and the Bengals getting blown out like that last week.
See, I think that's a wake up call though. I'm actually gonna take the Bengals.
All right,
Just
that's
because
fine.
a rookie
This is
quarterback,
great.
I don't
We
know.
have differences. I love it when we have differences. It makes Sunday that much more intense.
Yeah.
So, but
next
I got the Ravens. Lamar Jackson we trust. baby.
Panthers at Lions. I think we both got the Panthers.
got
But
the
I wouldn't
Panthers.
be surprised at all if
If the Lions pull that out,
yeah.
not even close.
Because the NFL is just like that.
Yep.
Titans at Colts. Oh, I'm gonna change this one. Who do you got?
I had the Colts.
I'm taking the Colts
Yeah.
as well.
I got the Colts. They're playing. I think they've won 3 straight.
Well,
and I think
the
they've
Titans
won like
look
4 of their last
The Titans
5.
looked so good last week, and if they can develop an identity on offense,
Oh yeah, if
there's been
Mariota
a
can.
hair on the mic all night. And
If Mariota can get clicking, then especially if they could start.
did this come with it? This
Yeah,
Really?
Especially if they could. Yeah, especially if they can start feeding Derrick Henry the ball in the red zone. It's
that?
yeah,
Really?
it's impossible. Yeah.
I wonder if I still have that.
I
probably threw it away.
Okay. Anyways, I don't know. I think the Titans can this is a toss up to me. I'm picking
Yeah.
the Colts because it's at home and they've been
If
on
it was in
they've been on
Tennessee,
a roll.
I'd pick Tennessee.
And like the Colts haven't allowed a sack in their last 4 games, which like to me,
Oh, their
if you
O-line,
protect
Andrew
Andrew
Luck,
Luck,
very
you're
good.
you're gonna be
Yeah.
a good team. It's weird how like Ty hasn't been putting up big numbers
Yeah.
and stuff, but I mean he's throwing to the tight ends there. I mean. We'll see what happens. Marlon Mack isn't having the worst of years, so I mean we'll see what happens with them. But I got the Colts win this game.
Yep, I changed my pick as well to the Colts. I'm not gonna go with game of the week, but it's up there. Buccaneers at Giants. I'm
Five
taking-
wins combined
Yeah,
between the two.
13 losses, but
Yep.
we're not gonna mention that
We don't want to talk.
Yeah,
no
we don't.
negativity on
Yeah,
this
no,
podcast.
unless you're Troy.
Yeah.
But no, I got the Giants actually. I think that last week there's just kind of an attitude with them. They'll go out this week and lose by 30, but I don't know.
think
There's
so.
kind of an attitude with them that kind of feels
I think
like
it's gonna be a shootout.
refreshing. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a shootout. I think I got the Giants winning too. But I think you're right with that attitude change. I think something like, especially if they can win this game, I think something like click because this one's at home. It'll change. Like the fan base will get that. It'll click in something. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but just like a culture shock, and they're gonna. I don't know. I think if you can get the right attitudes in those players, like they really do have the potential. Like with Saquon and OBJ, and if Eli plays just like a high school quarterback, then like. I mean they can they can win games against the Buccaneers at home. They should win games like that. So
Yeah, I agree. Next up, we got Troy's Pittsburgh Steelers against the Jaguars in Jacksonville.
is this the
This
Jags
is a-
comeback week?
No, but I don't know. I have a weird feeling about this game.
I kind of did too, but
I have a really weird feeling.
nah, I don't.
Steelers
The
30-17.
they're clicking.
Steelers 30-17.
Yeah,
But I just don't
I
know.
think the Steelers are gonna blow them out. The
Because I think
Jags just are not. They're not gonna be able to compete like
Pittsburgh's
the-
5-point favorites, but
Pittsburgh's-
you'd think they'd be a lot more.
Yeah,
but-
Pittsburgh's proving now, like lately in the past couple of weeks, that they like their offense is just as good as it has been at any point in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Which is scary when Big Ben's clicking and he's able to throw the ball like he is, and with
It's gonna
how
be interesting
with how
next
James
year.
Conner stepped up, like you can ask more for the guy, and I mean, with that kind of, I think they're gonna blow him out. I don't think Jags are gonna be able to keep up, and I think it's gonna be
just
blowout.
as a Browns fan, real quick, it is just so exciting to see, like, the Browns' potential. The Browns are on a bye, so that's why we didn't bring them up. But the Browns are going up in that whole division. When you go team by team, the Steelers, the Steelers are still
Everyone's
the Steelers,
dropping.
but they're gonna have a sudden drop off.
2 years they're done.
They're gonna have a sudden drop off where
Once
AB
AB
leaves. Obviously, Bell's gone.
They're not gonna have a
Big
quarterback.
Ben's retiring. Their defense isn't
be done.
nearly close to what it used to be.
They'll be
The
done.
Ravens are all. I think they're almost all Lamar Jackson. They have a great defense, but if Lamar Jackson isn't a great quarterback or whoever their future quarterback may be, then they're not going to be much. And
Cincinnati.
the Bengals need to get rid of.
They need a
Marvin Lewis.
quarterback, too.
And they need a quarterback. Yeah.
Like Andy Dalton's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna survive in the long run as a mediocre quarterback.
Yeah.
He's gonna very quickly. He's gonna be like one of those veteran backups.
Yeah.
So
And the Browns have a great up and coming quarterback who's going to be a dynasty, or I shouldn't say dynasty, a franchise quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
And they just have, if they can surround him with tools, I think we're on the up and up.
they're definitely on the up. Similar to the Texans in their division. Colts are coming up too. Don't get me wrong, but I think the
That's not
Zags and the
comparable. I
Titans
don't
are
think that's
both, like-
comparable at all.
No, it's really not.
But the Colts and Titans are also.
Anyways, but that's our next pick. I got the Redskins by. I just got them by 7, just by 7.
You're
Nice, easy
crazy.
7.
I don't know when you're ever gonna admit that the Texans are a good team.
It's not.
The Texans
happening.
are winning this
You
game.
know what? We could talk about this on Wednesday because Peabody got into it on Twitter. He chimed in. He said, "I don't know why you guys think you're a bad team." Well, I'll show you. Well, they will show you why on Sunday. Let me tell you.
So they lose this game, they're a bad team. At
no, they're
6
not
and
a bad
4.
team, but this is the one. This is literally the.
You're gonna say this?
No. This is the last good team we play.
Okay, so you're saying they could lose this game, and they can still finish
10,
12 and
11
4.
wins. If we don't have we should by far and away have 11 wins by the end of the year. If we don't, that's pathetic.
and that would give.
If we
that
don't,
would
then
put you
we
at-
are
that would
we
put
are
you-
very bad if
that
we
would
don't
put you
finish
at
with
a
11
wild
games.
card game against the.
Not very bad. Okay, I can't say we're a bad team. but
wild
we
card
are
game
not,
against the Browns.
We're not playoff contenders.
Who has the
anywhere
wild card?
near
Who has the
playoff
second wild
contenders
card
right now?
right now? If the season ended right now,
the
you'd be
Chargers?
playing the Bengals. 5 and 4.
Is it the Chargers? Yeah, Chargers and
No, the Bengals.
oh, the Chargers. Have
And the Bengal. Oh my, dude, the AFC playoff picture. There's
It's gonna be
about
tight.
Looking at this from a Browns standpoint makes me want to puke. It makes me absolutely sick. We should have won that the Steelers game where we couldn't kick. We should have won the Saints game where we couldn't. Our kicker just like forgot how to kick. The Raiders game, the refs completely just like decided to blow it. If we won those games, we'd be 5 and 4 right now in the second wild card spot. Oh.
Crazy.
Anyway,
That's kind of crazy.
yeah, you're picking Washington.
Yeah, I got Washington.
I'm picking.
They should win that game.
I'm picking Houston. Houston should win that game. You're right.
No.
Next up, Broncos at Chargers. I think I say this every week. I have no idea how Vance Joseph still has his job.
Yeah, I don't know.
How?
No, I think after
road
the
win
no,
in
they're
2
gonna
years.
get
He's like 1 and
yeah.
10 on the road.
No, they're gonna
That's
get blown out
ridiculous.
this week, and then I
Come
think
on.
Broncos fans are gonna turn on him, and then
What do you
I
mean
think
they're gonna? They have.
I mean they have, but
No
I
one
think they're
wants
really
it.
gonna they're gonna let him have it this week.
I don't know. I don't know how much worse it can get. Everyone's already like gone to the point where
It can get worse if they get blown out by the Chargers.
This season's done already.
It is done. Well, it's been done since week 2 when they lost to the Chiefs. I mean that's what
Week
that's
4
what
or
Bob
whatever.
said. No, it was week 3.
Are we 3?
Yeah,
We should no.
it was week 3 going
No, it
into week
wasn't.
4.
Yeah, it was the week.
It was
4
week
game.
4 game. Sure, whatever.
Stupid idiot. All right.
It's been done though.
Game of the week. Sorry, game of the week. Oh,
How do we forget?
Raiders at Cardinals in Arizona.
That
Both teams are trying to lose. Who you got?
Cardinals have David Johnson.
I mean-
That's all I'm gonna say. They just have by far and away the best offensive weapon on the team.
Flip a coin. It's heads. I mean, I'm taking the Cardinals. Drop the coin.
Oh God, that's a. Where'd your dad get that coin? In like the 17 from the 17 great grandma. Oh yeah, that's right.
Titanium
it's like
platinum ultra diamond.
like a
steel.
15-pound.
Yeah.
coin. I got the Cardinals at home just because I don't know.
Yeah. Fan appreciation.
Why not?
Game.
Yeah, sure. And I want David Johnson to go off for my fantasy team. So. All right.
Let's pay Gruden $100 million and let him drive us in the
Don't worry
ground.
about it. All right, Eagles Saints. What do you got? What do you got?
Saints.
Yeah, me
Eagles
too.
are bad this year.
Nobody's stopping the Saints. Yeah, the Eagles are bad. Guess who the Texans going to play? Eagles.
So yeah, we both got the Saints.
That's our second hardest game.
What do the Saints got to be like?
Actually.
The Saints got to be like 10-point favorites in that.
No, I
Oh,
bet they're-
7.5
Yeah,
at
I
home,
was
really?
about to say 7.
I think that could be a. I think they could kill them
They will.
because I think that Saints defense is
Dude,
just.
the
There's no way
Saints-
Wentz can keep up with that.
No, dude, I'm telling you, like, right now, I think the Saints are the best team in the NFL just because of home field advantage right now. Like, I think they could beat the Rams
They just won
because of home field advantage.
55-3 on the road.
No, but I'm saying against the Rams. Like, I think they're better than the Rams because of their home field advantage. Like, the Rams can't. The Rams can't win it.
You'll see. Watch.
I know that.
Chiefs-
But
or
that's
we'll
what I'm
get to it,
saying.
we'll get to it, we'll
But
get
if the Rams had a fan base and like the home field advantage as the Saints did, then I think the Rams will win that game. But they just don't. They just don't. They're relying on their pure talent. They have no fan energy. So, Saints are the Saints are the best team in the NFL right now. I think it's not even a question.
No,
Breeze is the best quarterback.
What was
Michael
your-
Thomas is arguably the most explosive wide receiver right now, and they have two of the top 10 running backs in the league right now. So
What was your Super Bowl pick to start the year?
It was Rams Jags.
And what was mine?
Oh, I made
what
that.
was mine?
What was it?
Pats Saints. I might for the
Alright.
first time in the
Sure.
history of Nate Bokel, I might get a Super Bowl
Awesome.
pick right to start the year. I just might. So we'll see.
I mean, I made mine in like March, so
And what did I say? That's too easy.
I would
to
not
pick.
have changed it
That's
though.
too easy
I would
to
not have
make that
changed it.
pick.
I would not have changed it. Shut up.
To pick the Jags is just boneheaded. They're not doing it. Hey, anyway,
lost to the
Sunday
Patriots.
night football. This is actually a good.
They got
game.
some good games.
Vikings at Bears.
I have the Bears.
I do too.
Vikings are overrated.
I just
wanna
that
see-
Vikings. I think
I
that
just wanna
Vikings
see
offense is
Calvin-
going to show up coming
Calvin
off a bye.
scream at the TV.
Coming off a bye. Anyway, yeah. So we both got the Bears, and then last up we got Chiefs
At legitimate
Rams.
game of the week, like game of the year actually.
Huge advantage midweek for the Rams getting their to play at home now
Yeah.
instead of in Mexico.
But is it
Um,
really that much of a difference?
It is. They've developed. It's not like the Chargers. They've developed a legit home field advantage.
Not
It's not as
but
much
yeah.
so as like other teams. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
that'll still be a
You're
home
right.
field
You're not wrong.
advantage.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But changing that pick right now. I'm going with the Chiefs.
Why just to butt heads?
No,
All right, whatever. Rams are gonna win that game. I don't think.
it's so weird because like
Why?
part of me.
Rams defense is miles ahead of the Chiefs defense, and their offense
Are
is
they-
head to head.
No,
Yes.
no.
Look at the
No.
stats.
And look at all this. You'll see.
Statistically, they're head to head.
And statistically,
Goff and Mahomes are
Statistically-
1-2.
statistically, Goff's gonna
Sure.
take an L this week.
Oh yeah, statistically, Goff's gonna take an L this week. If only everything was based off of statistics,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. You can give me all the statistics you want.
Chiefs are winning
Mahomes
that
is
game on the
going
road.
in there.
You're right.
You want to say? I want to say here. Trust me.
Throwing 3 picks.
I want to say here. I was listening to all
Two
the
picks.
Rams players. Oh, we're gonna get back to work. We're not gonna take this loss for granted. This is a wake up call. Blah blah blah.
Dude,
You're gonna take another one right here on Monday Night Football.
no.
Okay. Submit.
Submit.
And yeah, those are our picks for the week. So I know we've said this before, but our podcasts continue to
Dude.
get better. This was a good one.
I think it was a really good one. It's
Might have
hard
been our
to.
best.
It's hard to keep them short. I don't know. We
It
might.
is, especially live. It gets harder, but
If you guys got any feedback, I don't know.
we'll probably
We'll find
hit you
out.
on Wednesday with another live one. It's so much easier to do live.
It's a lot easier and it's more fun.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Troy, for coming on unexpectedly. But yeah, thanks for listening. We'll be back on Wednesday.
Oh my god, white J's, white Porsche, white wrist, white horse, high bitch, high bitch, high bitch, high bitch. I do not switch with the roll it. It do not jump when I pull it. I do not run